So on this episode of The Engaging Marketeer, I wanted to talk about something that's a little outside digital marketing to a degree, but it's certainly related, and I have taken a digital marketing approach to a more conventional marketing thing, if you like. So to be specific, I set myself a goal at the start, well, a couple of goals at the start of the year, and one of those goals was that I wanted to be in the top 10 members for BNI UK and Ireland. Now, for those of you who don't know what BNI is, it stands for Business Networking International. It's a networking organisation that is global, but in the UK there are 12,500 members, and there's different groups, and you meet people in these groups every week, and you pass business between each other, pass referrals. So if you're a solicitor, you're going to find it very difficult to get into a BNI group because every BNI group has a solicitor. If you're an accountant, there's one in every group. If you're in my industry, digital marketing, unfortunately, every group seems to have one. But if you're a more unusual occupation, like a chiropractor or abseil instructor, then you can probably get into to most meetings. And in order to get into the top 10 members for BNI UK and Ireland, there's 12,500 members in the whole of the UK and Ireland, which is important to know. In order to get into the top 10 members, what I need to do is, first of all, I need to be what's called a 100-point member, a maximum point member. And one of the things that you have to do in order to achieve that is to bring a number of visitors to the group on a rolling 6-month period. So in the last 6 months, I have had to bring 12 or 13 visitors. I think it's 13 visitors if it doesn't include Christmas, because we don't have meetings for the 2 weeks over Christmas. Some of our members are not very happy about that. They'd rather have their Christmas dinner at a BNI meeting and pass referrals. But, you know, we've not gone to that yet. We've not gone to that level. So if it doesn't include December, it's 26 meetings, which means you need to bring 13 visitors in the last 6 months in order to get maximum points for the visitors. And if you are a BNI member, you'll know bringing visitors can be quite difficult. It can be quite difficult because you meet people, you meet people out on the street, you meet people, your clients, your suppliers, you meet people at other networking meetings, and you say to them, would you like to come along to my BNI meeting? We meet on a Thursday morning at 6:45 a.m. Yeah, AM, that's right, that's in the morning, and we have a meeting, and we talk about what we do, and we pass business between each other. And you're like, yeah, it's what time? 6:45 in the morning? No, thank you. No, I don't want to go. No, I never want to go. So please don't ask me again. Or they'll say things like, I've been to one of them before. Oh, I didn't like it. No, it's not for me. It's very stuffy. No, I didn't like it. Or more commonly, I've heard of them. That's that American thing, isn't it? That's that American thing where it's like a cult. It's like a cult. No, I don't want to go to that. So it can be very difficult to invite visitors, and there's a lot of members in BNI who really struggle with this and don't like doing it. They don't like even having these conversations. And that's kind of the first thing to get over. If you're thinking, I'd really like you to do me a favor by coming along to a networking meeting, because it would really help me out. Please, can you come along? Please. Then that's not going to work, because you have this stench of desperation. You're like Gil in The Simpsons. Oh, please, won't somebody buy this car? Throw a nickel to old Gil. That sort of thing. It doesn't work. You need to believe, know, and accept that you are actually helping them. You're helping them when you're inviting them to a networking meeting, and all networking meetings have this in common. If you're inviting somebody to come along to a networking meeting, you're not doing it because you want them to do you a favor. You're doing it because you're doing them a favor. If you come along to this, you are going to meet people who are going to be useful to you. You are going to meet people who are going to be able to help you, people that potentially are going to be able to give you work, or certainly introduce you to the kind of people that you want to be introduced to so that you can do work for them. And if you take that approach that you are helping people, then it will come across in the way you invite them, and they're going to be more likely to accept. Now, again, if you're in an industry like mine, where you don't naturally meet people and don't naturally speak to people, then it's still difficult to have these conversations because you're just not in those positions. See, I'm in digital marketing, and most people in digital marketing, and I can say this because I am a nerd, most people in digital marketing don't want to talk to people. They don't. They want to sit in front of a computer all the way up until the sun goes down, and big bottle of pop on the desk, pizza, just sit there with their code and their web designing or their web developing or whatever language they're using, and never speak to a single soul. They'll be quite happy if they never speak to anybody for months and months at a time. My eldest son's like that. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. Not interested. So that doesn't work for you. So I thought, I'm going to need to bring 13 visitors over a 6-month period, which is a lot. Why don't I just use a digital marketing method? Why don't I do that? And I've got a landing page funnel. I've got a landing page funnel. So if you were to search for BNI in the Chester area, for example, you will find this, and it works, has all the benefits of what a landing page is. So it talks about what it will do for you. It talks about how you will benefit, what you will get when you go, and obviously it gives testimonials from the people that have been before and how fantastic it is, and it allows you to book immediately online and pay online. Because again, most online bookings for networking events, they just talk about what they are. Oh, this is a meeting of 20 people, you can come along and you can have breakfast or dinner or tea, and then we meet every week, and we have a featured speaker, and lots of people can talk about stuff. Nobody gives a toss about that. Nobody really cares. Nobody cares about any of that crap. You see, what they actually care about is what's in it for them, what they're going to get out of it, and you need to do that on your landing page for this. You need to talk about them. How are they going to benefit? What are they going to be able to do? How are they going to get business from it? Don't talk about you. Nobody cares about you. So I've got this landing page that does this, and as I say, if you Google BNI within the Chester area or BNI Cheshire, whatever, you'll find this and you'll see it, and book on. You'll love it. But that's still passive. That still requires people to look for it and come to us. So that's generating a couple of visitors every few months. Not big numbers, but it's passive. It works. I get ticking over on visitors. I thought, I need something more active. I need something that is going to actually get huge numbers. And I implemented this system I'm going to talk to you about in a moment. And I started it in late March, I think it was, late March. And we're now early June. When I've recorded this podcast, and I've had 21 visitors in the last 6 months. 21 visitors. Last week was the first week where I didn't have a visitor. And I've been away for 2 weeks in Mexico, had visitors both weeks. I was in Mexico. So 1 month I had 8 visitors. Last month in May, I think it was 7 visitors. And the month before that, 5 or 6, something like that. So it's getting visitors almost every week. I have visitors booked on every single week, and it depends between 0, obviously last week, up to 3 or 4 turning up per meeting. And the key is, I don't know any of them. I've never spoken to any of them. I don't recognize them when they walk through the door because I've never seen them. They don't recognize me. I don't make any phone calls. I don't talk to anybody face-to-face about this. And I do literally nothing other than messages via the internet. So how am I doing this? Well, this is the key, you see. I thought the obvious way to reach people for this kind of thing is you're going to want to use LinkedIn. Because if you want to invite visitors to a BNI group or any networking group for that matter, or for any lead generation, you want to be able to get to somewhere where you can filter them by their industry. And LinkedIn obviously allows you to do that very effectively. So I'm using LinkedIn and I am targeting, say, people in HR or people in catering, or people in IT, or what else to do? Security, cybersecurity, that kind of thing. People we don't have in the group, and you're able to filter it. And then you can filter it by second connection, because you can't. There's no point. You can't do this on a third connection because you can't send a connection request to a third connection. It's got to be second connection. There's no point doing it first connection because you already know those people. It could message people who you know, who you've met, and that's weird as well. So second connection only. And then you want to filter it by location. So typically within a networking group like this, you want people that are within about 30 minutes of the location. If you're in an online group and it doesn't matter, then the world quite literally is your oyster. So if you're doing this for an online group, it's even better. But for ours is a face-to-face group, so you have to do it within about 30 minutes of where you are. So with us, I can do Chester, Ellesmere Port, the whole of the Wirral. I tend to do Runcorn, Warrington, and sometimes I will do Cheshire West, but that can go as far as like Wilmslow and Manchester, and that's a little bit on the far side. So often I'll leave that out. Depends how many people come up in the search. So what I'll do is I will search for, say, somebody in human resources, and I will filter it to those locations, and I will put it second connection. Now, the problem then, of course, is you'll get people who are in human resources who work for other companies. So they do HR for the council, or they do HR for schools, or they do HR for other businesses. And that's no good, because they're not going to be able to come along to a networking meeting and offer HR services to other people if they work for a specific company. So you need to filter those out as well. And the way to do that then is with the advanced filters, and you look for people who are in the industry, human resources, or the industry, professional services, or maybe they're even talking about human resources or HR advice. And you can filter it out that way and get yourself probably 200-300 people on this list. But then what do? Do you go through them manually and think, oh, this looks like the right person, I'm going to message them. Oh, let's look at this person. I'm not sure how long their company's been around. Maybe they're not the right fit for me. I'll move on to the next one. No. That'll take you hours. That'll take you. You don't do that. You don't do that. No. I'm using a piece of software. A piece of software called Ducks Soup. Ducks Soup. Not ducks as in quack quack. Ducks as in D-U-X Soup. Now, there's a free trial of this. I'm not affiliated with this software in any way, so I'm not getting a commission on this, unfortunately, unless Duck Soup want to reach out and go, hey, Daz, loved it. Here's some money. That's perfectly accepted. I'll take that if you want. Go to Duck Soup and download the free trial of the software. It's a Chrome browser extension, so you need to Google Chrome, and it plugs into your browser, and you're then able to set off these automation connection requests based on the search filter you've just done in LinkedIn. Now, this is where the magic happens. This is where the key happens. And this is something we talk about on our engageweb.club quite regularly. We've got videos going through exactly how to do this step by step. So if you want me to talk you through how you do this and the kind of messages, then you're going to have to go into engageweb.club for that. If you're not a member of engageweb.club, please check it out. Please have a look. It's still, at the time of recording this, it's still just £5 a month, and there's no commitment with that, but it is going to go up. It is going to go up at the end of June to £7 a month from July onwards. So if you get in at £5 a month, that's all you're going to pay. That's all you're going to pay. If you wait till the end of June and go in July, it's going to be £7 a month. So if you can get in before then, please do that. And we've got walkthrough videos showing you how to do this in there. But the messaging is the important thing. If you send someone a connection request and you say, hey, I'd love you to come along and visit my BNI meeting on 6:45 in the morning. We've got this member, this member, this member. We've done this much business in the past 12 months. We meet every week. It's fantastic. Come and have a look. You're going to love it. They're just going to ignore you. They're going to ignore you. You've probably had connection requests like this yourself over LinkedIn. Hi, I really love your business, and we can help you with your website, and we've done websites for this company, this company, and this company. Let's set up a call where we can talk about our business and what we can do and how we can help you. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You can't do a message like that. You wouldn't say that in the street. You wouldn't say that on a phone call, or they put the phone down on you. It doesn't work. No, any message, any outreach message of any kind where your first words are I or we isn't going to work. Isn't going to work. You need to talk about them and what's in it for them. Remember what I said about the landing page? It's about them and what is in it for them. You talk about yourself, it is not going to work. So the message I use is something like, hey, and then you use a variable, because you can use variables in Duck Soup as well. So variable for first name. Hey, first name. If the first name's Dave, he puts in Dave. Hey, Dave, I hope you're well. Can you handle more business at the moment? See, that's the important thing. Can you handle more business at the moment? Some people will go, no, I'm far too busy. Most people will go, yeah, actually, that's why I'm on LinkedIn. That's why I use it. That's why I use social media. I really want more business. Can you handle more business at the moment? Yes. Yes, I can. You've got them thinking, yes. I'm working with a group of business owners in Chester. Immediately you put the location in because they know, oh, that's close, because you've already done your filtering, remember. You've already done the filtering, so they know where you are. Chester, okay, this isn't some online thing from somewhere in another country looking for outsourcing. They've mentioned Chester. I'm working with a group business in Chester, and we really need somebody great who we can refer business to. Are you free on Thursday morning? Or are you free on Friday? Are you free Wednesday morning? Whenever your meeting is. Whenever your meeting is. You don't mention it's BNI. You don't mention, if it's a different networking meeting, you don't mention what that is. You just say, are you free on this day? Now, they will either come back to you and say, I'm too busy at the moment. I've got enough on. I can't work anymore, which is fine. Or they'll come back to you and say, I can't be free that day. I've got something on, but I can be free another day or another week. Or they'll come back to you and say, most likely, yes, I am free that day. Shall we set up a call? Or I'm free between 9 and 10. Here's my number. That's quite common. At which point you don't get into a conversation with them. You don't get into a debate about, when you can have the call or when you can do this. There's another message then that you send in and said, oh, great. I'm actually meeting the group of businesses I mentioned at, and there's the venue for your networking meeting, at 6:45 in the morning on Thursday. If I can arrange an invite for you, would you like to come along and tell everybody what you do? Now, that's the key there, the if I can arrange an invite for you. You say that because it's not guaranteed they're going to be able to come. There's no guarantee they're going to be able to come. If I can arrange an invite for you. Oh, well, I presumed I was in, and that puts that element of scarcity in it, that they want to come, they want to do it, they want to be involved. And then there's a follow-up message and a follow-up message on that, depending on what they say and what they come back with. But as I say, I have been using this method now since mid-March, and I've had 21 visitors to date. It's the 7th of June when I'm recording this podcast, the 7th of June today. I've had 21 visitors in the past 6 months using exclusively this method, and I haven't spoken to any of them. I've never phoned any of them up. I've never met any of them. I've never talked to any of them. They just come through the door, and they're visitors to my networking. And all of this is using a digital marketing technique that is easily replicable for anyone to do. So what I recommend you do, as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, which will be in a moment, I'm going to leave you in a second, what I recommend you do is go and take a look at Duck's Soup. D-U-X, not Ducks Quack Quack. D-U-X Soup. Go and take a look at Duck's Soup. Give it a try. Have a look at the free trial. It's a 28-day trial. After that, they've got different packages depending on what level you go for, but the cheapest is £10 a month. $10, something like that a month, payable yearly. Or there's a more expensive one, which is about $40, $45 a month, something like that. That's quite pricey. It's got a whole online dashboard. Really cool, but you don't need all of that for this. You can do if you want, but you don't need all of that for this. You can still only send 25, 26 odd messages a day because LinkedIn limits it. So you can't do any more with the more powerful one. It's still the same level. Go and give that a try and see how you get on. But remember, the messages that you use have to be of interest to the people you're sending them to. There is no point trying to sell to them. There is no point talking about yourself, talking about your networking meeting, or talking about your business if you use this for outreach for your own business, because you're just going to piss them off. They are not going to respond to that. How many times must I have the conversations with people about your website text just talks about you? Nobody cares who you are. Your pitch at a networking meeting just talks about you. Nobody cares who you are. Your outreach message on LinkedIn just talks about you. Nobody cares who you are. But if you talk about them, it sounds as though you're giving it some thought. They realize that they can get something out of it, that it's worth them having the conversation with you. That's what makes it work. And I will catch you on the next podcast.